Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the High Level Release Radar, where we recap all of the new releases from the week. Ryan, I'm a little off my game here. We are at the company retreat. It's also not Friday for us. You're out tomorrow, so we're recording ahead of time. We might miss an update or two from tomorrow or 12. You guys know how we do it. But we're going to recap everything we've seen so far this week, and then we'll be live again next Friday. How's your week going, Ryan?
It's going great. It's been an awesome week. A lot of things going on, but I think we're handling them just fine. So a lot of fun stuff changing this week.
Yeah, I'm excited. I feel like I haven't seen many of the releases. I've probably missed a good handful. So I'm excited to see what came out this week for the first time. What do you say we hop into it?
Alrighty.
Our first release of the week is documents and contracts. We got enhanced document sending experience. I didn't see this one. So talk me through it. What do we got?
Well, I can't see your screen, so I'm not sure that we can see it right now.
What?
But let me walk through it for you. We've got enhanced document sending experience, and what that really means is that we've got a persistent edit icon. I think some of the users were not knowing that they could actually edit the email template, and then you get to choose what template you're actually using. So you can create your own template, you can edit the one that's there, makes it really easy, and we just made some nice UI changes to ensure that everybody understands that you can do that.
Nice. Love it. Next up, we got calendars, got an update. We have upgraded settings with easier setup. I heard something about this. I love the sound of easier setup.
Yes, easier setup. There was an update that had rolled out previously wherein brand new accounts will get a calendar set up automatically for them. This is taking it a little bit of a step further by having very clear instructions. They've done a big revamp on all of the tooltips, is what we call them, when you hover over the eye icons, to explain to people what things actually mean and give them examples and things like that. And I think calendars are really complicated. I think people underestimate how complicated calendars can get, and having all that information so that you can dig and, as they say, double click into something without double clicking, you can kind of understand what's happening there much more easily.
Yeah, I agree. Calendars can be complicated to set up, so I love the idea that we're going back through, fine-tooth combing the process and really figuring out ways to make it even easier for folks. So I love it. Let us know what you guys think the next time you go set up a calendar. Hopefully it's easier than ever. Next up, mobile app got an update. We have active transaction support in POS. So does everybody know that we have a full POS system in mobile? Hopefully you do. Now we have active transactions. What does that mean, Ryan?
Yeah, so active transactions would be like transactions that are due. So like in some cases it would be like an invoice or an estimate where it's due or it's overdue. And right within the list there, you've got these swipe actions. So you'll see a lot of this within the mobile app where we're adding a lot of very intuitive, like modern things that you would see in any other world-class app, where you've got more options. You can swipe to see more details about a certain thing, take actions on from a list without having to tap into it and then tap the options thing. We're going more gestures based. So from the list, you can then collect payments for all due and overdue invoices and estimates, things of that nature, and you can select what you want to do there. So it might be making an edit to one. Maybe it's erroneous and you want to just delete it.
Erroneous.
Erroneous on all counts. Or you just want to collect the payment right there. You can select what, how you're collecting that payment, whether it's tap to pay. If you don't know, we support tap to pay both on the phones and then also with the mobile readers. If you want to just record cash payments, you've got all those options just at your fingertips there.
I love it. I love the direction of the mobile app. It is looking awesome. I saw some screens from an upcoming release that's rolling out, or an update that just looks so good. And so, yeah, I love the fact, like you mentioned, that this is all like swipe actions, really easy to get in and out of. And I think it makes total sense that you get access to like those pending charges where you can just, hey, I completed the job here. I want to close that invoice out. Now I can do all that right from the mobile app. Love it. Contacts got an update. We can merge contacts, payment data. So when we're merging contacts, this has to do with bringing the payment transaction history into one place.
Yes.
Correct?
This was kind of like a pain point before because it's, as you can imagine, pretty complicated to do merging and deduplication, as we like to call it. And so now when you do that, the payment information merges from two contexts. Like let's say they had one time they entered one email address and then they spelled it wrong or something, and you had two different contacts, both with charges, maybe some that had them, some that didn't. Now you can
Mhm.
merge all that together. All the payment data remains the same. LTV is still kind of a pending one there. So if you're looking for LTV, that's coming. We're working on that, and that stands for lifetime value of the customer. So like the total spend, but you will have all the transactions in there for now.
Love it. That's awesome, actually. You don't have to lose any of that data when you make the merge. We got some user management updates this week. We now have permissioned access to log in as. This is a really cool, let's give a little back history here. We have this really cool feature where you can log into the account as one of your users to like see the system as they see it, right? And this is an enhancement to that.
Yeah. This is basically giving the ability to turn it off. I think that's the
Mhm.
big story here. Um, there are certain users that you're like, okay, I don't want, like an admin, like things of that. And like, I don't want people to be able to just log in as anybody and then act like them. Now, of
Mm.
course, a lot of that stuff gets well, in fact, all of it gets recorded into the log, so you could go back. But sometimes we just want to make sure that everything is
Yeah,
being aligned. Everybody's playing by the same rule book here.
that makes sense. So this is
But
saying,
yeah.
hey, I don't want so and so to be able to log in as other people.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Before it was sort of like enabled by default. Now you have the option to uncheck it. I think maybe that's a better way to say it.
Love it. More control. We got a new API opened up. We got API support for user management permissions now.
Yes. API continues to be developed more specifically toward user management. So this allows outside systems. If you don't know what APIs are, they're for controlling outside systems and kind of logging in through the back end and making changes to the settings. And so this one has to do with user management permissions, kind of like what we were just talking about, like who gets access to what and where.
API, Ryan. Opportunity to blow our minds. What's it stand for?
Application programming interface,
Really?
which
That
obviously
doesn't make
allows the application to program through an interface.
I don't know if I believe you on that one, but I'll give you the benefit of
Okay.
the doubt. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because it sounded smart. All right, next up, we got improved multi-country card authorization on affiliate sign-up page.
Okay, so this is maybe a bit of a clouded release. Basically, there are certain countries, India is one of them, where the banks don't always play as well with the credit card processors because there's just fraud risk and all these types of things. So there's this feature called 3DS. So if you're not familiar, 3DS is basically like an enhanced security to make sure that there aren't fraudsters that are trying to use stolen credit cards and that kind of thing to sign up for something, and then you end up with all these back charges and things like that. So this essentially, this enhancement allows it so that it's easier for people in these countries to that are totally legitimate to sign up and not have a problem where their bank is going to be upset or prevent the charges from going through because
Yeah,
they think that there's some fraud going on.
this one's great. And I know, like you mentioned, India for sure. If you're in one of those countries and you want to sign up for HighLevel, but you've been having a hard time, this update should be what you've been waiting for. You should be able to go ahead and just get signed up now without running into any issues there. So great update from the team on that one. Next up, we have AutoSave toggle for blog posts now. So when you're blogging away, you don't have to worry about hitting save if you don't want to. It can just save as you go.
Exactly.
Not much more to be said about that one. I think we
Autosave's
also,
coming to everything, and you're
yeah,
about to see one more here.
I was gonna say, didn't it roll out to something else this week too? Here it is.
Yeah,
Autosave enabled for badges as well. So
yeah.
fantastic. Again, don't worry about it. We got you. It's gonna save as you go. This one was a very nice little update here. We now have enhanced QR code creation and management. Uh, Easier to make them, keep them organized. We got folders in there now. Anything else to cover on this one?
Yeah, the big headline here that people were waiting for is the ability to move it to a folder.
Mm.
So we had like folders, and now when you're making them, you can say, "Hey, put it in here." move them around to different folders, and that's probably the thing that most people are waiting on. But you also get a nice template for doing your bulk upload for QR code management as well. So if you're into QRs, check out the new creator management flow.
Love it. Folders, baby. Everybody loves folders. I feel like
Everybody
every time we
does.
roll out a new folder, people go nuts. So folders and QR. Ecom got an update. This one's a sweet little update. We have now download button support for digital products basically on the thank you page, right? So if it's a digital product, you want to
Yeah.
look at the thank you page and be able to download right there, you can just toggle this on, correct?
Yep. That's all there is to it. Makes it easier. You don't have to log into anything separately. And you can turn that off or on at your pleasure.
Love it. Sweet little update there. Social Planner got an update. You can customize photos and videos for each channel. Okay, so now we get channel specific optionality like we had with the copy before, right? Now we get that
Yeah.
with the image as well.
Exactly. So now we have full customizability. So every channel can have something a little bit different. Obviously there's some channels support more photos than others. Like I think, and then you've got Google Business Profile doesn't support video. So now you can mix and match and just have one post with all the channels configured the way that you want, and you're off to the races.
And hopefully everybody knows and has seen this bad boy right there. If you'd like AI to make your images for you, you can, of course, now do that. The images are really good now since the last update. I wonder if this image that we're looking at is made with AI. Probably. But
It probably is.
looks delicious, right? Love it. Next up, funnels and websites got an update. We have one color picker to rule them all. I love it. This is a great little update, Ryan. The team's been working on this for a little bit, and I think they nailed it.
They did. I saw this when I was actually, these are out of order. I reordered them, but I saw this before I knew that there was an actual update, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that. Man, they actually fixed the color picker. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So the highlights are you can see the exact color as you hover over it. You can see the hex values. You can now edit things much more easily. You can name them. I mean, like,
And
what
it's
else is
easier
there
to
that
make
you possibly
custom
could
colors.
want in a
Before you
color
have to like click in another layer to create custom colors. You don't have to do that anymore. And it's super, super snappy. So
Yeah.
if you haven't checked this one out, I don't think it's just live for everybody, right?
Yep.
Just the builder. Cool. Check it out. Let us know what you think. I think you're going to love it. It was really sweet the last time I used it the other day. And so great job on the team for knocking that one out. Funnel website got another update, a new widget this week. And this one, I didn't even know we were building, is pretty cool. Because if you've ever been to the HighLevel homepage, you know that we have counts for like customers and, users and whatever those numbers are. Now you can, instead of having to use code or whatever, you can do that natively with these new number counters that come with nice little animations if you'd like.
Exactly. Yeah. So before you kind of had to manually build it, if you wanted them to animate, it was kind of complicated. Now you just change a couple of settings, and you can see there they count up beautifully and all at the same time, and you don't have to worry about anything on the back end.
Yeah, that's a nice little one. And I feel like we're back on the widget train, just banging out widgets that we've been missing. And pretty soon we'll have them all. So I'm pumped up. Love it. This is, I would say, a fancy one, right? I didn't even know that
It
was
is. This one's fancy for sure.
That's a fancy
Capital
widget.
F.
Yeah, love it. Great work, team. Funnels and websites got another update this week with upgraded animation controls. The UI on this looks very nice.
Yes, it does. I'm not sure why I didn't zoom in more there, but you can kind of tell when you go to animations now, instead of just having kind of like one thing, you can click into it, and then you get advanced controls at the bottom there where you can actually stagger them too. So that was one of the things that was missing, where it's like, okay, I don't want them to all animate at once. I want one to go in at 0.9 milliseconds or 0.9 seconds, and the other one at 1.2. And so now you can kind of timeline that out as you would normally. So you'd have them on a timeline instead of just all coming in together. And then you've got some other granular controls over animations. You can play around with those, see what they do, make them look beautiful.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like I saw in the release note here that this was sort of like a Rails update, meaning this sets the stage for way more animation stuff to unfold.
Yes.
More advanced animations, more options around that.
Yes. The big thing here was there's a lot of back end stuff here, but then also just setting the stage for the interface, and which will get expanded.
Love
So
it.
we don't need to figure out where everything's going to go now. We kind of have a nice framework for it, and we can add on to it.
I love it.
Mhm.
Next up this week, we had an update to the client portal. We now have enhanced permissions and displays for apps and features. So that
Yeah.
was a lot of words to
This is a
describe
lot of words. I
something.
went back and forth on how to explain this, but I think I'm just gonna have to like spell it out. So basically, it's like a dynamic. The client portal is much more dynamic now, and what that
Yeah,
means is that you see the things that you need to see when you need to see them. Not only that, but it's also putting a lot more control into the administrator, so like whoever's running the client portal, for what the users will see when they log in. And an example of this right now, we're seeing kind of like everything. But like, let's say you had an invoice due and it's going to display it for you as I believe that you're seeing here. Like, oh, there's an invoice and there's an estimate here. But then what if you didn't have any of those? Well, if you don't have any of those, then they won't even show up. Like you won't even see.
that's the big deal, right? Because
Yeah.
in the past,
And so that
people would
that
log
that's
in.
really what we mean by dynamic is that it's only going to show you things that are relevant to you that are at that moment, which could change over time, in which
Yeah.
case they'll appear. And yeah, I think
Which
that's
is
it.
huge, right? Because I think there were a lot of people that tried Collab or Client Portal and were like, "Oh, I'm not going to use this because when my customers log in, they see these things that aren't relevant to them, and they're confused, and they're like, why am I seeing this?" Well, those days are gone, right? If you're not using invoices, they won't see the invoicing tab, and I believe you also have manual control over this stuff
Yes.
as well now, so you can just set it to not be dynamic. But yeah, so if you've been sort of waiting to check back in on Collab or Client Portal because of this, get back in there. It makes way more sense now. People aren't going to be confused because they're seeing stuff that's not relevant to them.
And if you have a better headline for that explaining all that, let me know.
Client Portal makes sense now. Boom. There we go. Love it. Prospecting got an update. We now have the ability to customize the audit report builder with brand themes, which is really sweet, right? So this is
Yes.
awesome. This is a big sort of UX, and then the final report looks way better now. And I think, yeah, you can customize it to match your brand and all that.
It does. Yeah, you've got pretty much full control, lots of different options. It's not just colors. You can like say, "Hey, I want there to be like a wave in here, or I just want it to be full horizontal. I want there to be a border." So, we definitely gave a lot of customizability here. It's way beyond just the colors and that's it.
Hmm.
And then don't forget, you can also decide what you want to display in there too. So if you don't, if you don't concentrate on, chat widgets, I don't know, like whatever is in there, or SEO, for example, you don't have to include it. Just
Yeah.
focus on the things that are pertinent, and you can really target, into that particular client.
Absolutely. I do think we need to point out that this is only in the Prospecting Pro, right?
Yeah, so this is paid. That's a good thing to note there. If you're paying for the premium prospecting tool, then this is included. If you don't, then what are you doing? It's totally worth it. You got a lot more data, a lot more customizability, and I think the pro users really this is kind of what they want. They want a little more control over what it looks like.
Absolutely. Now you've got that control. The builder looks awesome. So enjoy, customize those audit reports to your heart's content. This one I know is right up your alley, Ryan. So we've
Yeah,
got
this
security
is yours,
update,
Chase. This is all you.
Authenticator app support for 2FA login. Break it down. What do we got here?
Okay, so if you don't know what this is, you probably don't use the internet too much. But the idea here is that we've always had 2FA for which stands for two-factor authentication, right? It's not just the password, but it's also something else like sending it to your phone number. So that's the difference between something that you know, which is your password, and something that you have. Those are the two factors. Something that you have would be your phone number or your phone. Um, the problem with that is that phone numbers can be compromised. So in certain circumstances, if you really want the highest level of security, you would have like a dedicated app. In some cases, they use something called the YubiKey. We won't get into that. That we're not talking about security keys right now. But the next level up from this is the Authenticator app. Google makes one, Microsoft makes one. There's some open source ones as well. Do your own research and figure out what you want to do there. But if you're very concerned about security, this is a great way that you can upgrade your two-factor authentication for logins.
Yes, I have to say, well, it is always annoying to have to do 2FA. I always feel kind of cool when I'm doing it, like I'm like getting the secret code and I got to get back in time to paste it, or it blows up and I got to go get the next code. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you ever done that, you can now do that for your accounts to make them even more secure and make your users feel like Tom Cruise every time they go to log in, because they got to go get the secret code within, what is it, 60 seconds or something.
Yeah. Chase wins the marketing effort on that one. I'm much more excited to do this now.
All right, I love it. We brought back the scientist dog to talk about what's hitting labs this week. Again, hopefully you've gotten the message. We are beefing up the labs experience. You're going to see more and more stuff go into labs so that you have time to play with it before it goes live. So make sure you're checking labs daily to see what is new. Let's talk about what is new. Forms, surveys, quizzes got an upgrade to the builder. I love this one because it brings parity from a user experience to the funnel website builder, right? So we've got like the setting stuff in the middle, and it's way less confusing with all the stuff being on the right sidebar.
Yeah, it's much more familiar. This will evolve slightly here and there. We've already got some stuff that we're cleaning up. But yeah, the whole idea is that although it's hard to develop new muscle memory, and maybe you memorized where things were in the past, this is going to be a lot closer to what you're used to in building on the funnel builders, on the website builders, and so forth. And we hope that is more helpful for you. But go check it out. You got to enable it in labs. Give us some feedback on it, and before it goes live to everybody, we'll take that into account and make it as good as we can.
Absolutely. I'm confident you're going to love it. But like Ryan said, if you don't, there's a feedback mechanism in labs that you can let us know, and the team can take that into consideration. But I love this one. I thought the right-hand sidebar had too much stuff in it in the form builder. It was kind of confusing, and now they've sort of split it out. It makes way more sense now. So again, hit labs, activate that, give it a whirl, and let us know what you think. I'm quite certain that you haven't put this in the teaser for this one, Ryan, so I'm going to tease it myself. I feel like a certain amount of the community will rejoice when I tell you that I saw a preview of an upcoming update for Form Builder where you will have padding and margin control over the thank you message. It's something that I have been
It's the
dying
nerdiest tease ever.
for years, and it's finally coming. You're gonna have full control over that thank you message. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. If you know what I'm
Yeah, I
talking about,
do.
throw
I'll
it in the
give Chase
comments.
credit here. He's been fighting a lot of battles on your behalf, and they don't see what he does for you.
That's right. All the arrows in my back. Don't worry about it. I got you guys, and this one's coming out soon. All right, let's race into some upcoming releases. Is it like F1 season, Ryan? Are you a big F1 fan?
I just like engines, so
Figured.
anytime there's something going fast, I'm all about it.
I figured. All right, what do we got coming soon? We've got Agentic Funnel AI. This is sweet, right? Because I feel like in the early days of AI, right? Like it evolves a year and a week now. But I think when we started building Funnel AI, we were going down one path, and then updates to the general state of AI happened, which enabled a whole new path. And I feel like we're on this new path, which is way more exciting, where you're just kind of like telling it what you want, right?
Yeah. So for everybody that doesn't know what agentic means, the idea is that you can interact with the AI and kind of like have a conversation and build as you go. So it's very purposeful in the sense of like when you tell it in this example, like, hey, update the CTA to red, it knows what you mean by CTA. It knows what the color red is, obviously, and it knows how to connect those dots. And so, really, what it's doing is like plugging in a superhuman. In fact, I think superhuman is like one of the modes that they're gonna have with this,
Nice.
right? Uh, where it knows everything and can do anything in a funnel builder or whatever it's sort of designed for. This is the first iteration of kind of where we're going with this, so that you can have a conversation as if there was like an expert coder or an expert funnel builder right next to you. Not only that, but they'll be able to take into account like your brand voice and the industry you're in, the competitive landscape. And there's a lot more other things that'll come into this, where you can ultimately just create the thing that you really need, and have a conversation about it instead of just having to figure out all the nerdy stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where we're headed. I'm really excited for this. I think it will eliminate a lot of clicks, a lot of frustration, and a lot of time that it would normally take to put together a really solid funnel, and that will get expanded to all kinds of other areas of the app as well.
Absolutely. I'm super pumped up for this one. I love that you guys used that template for the visual here, which was donated by Goose and Son. If you guys don't know him, he makes beautiful templates. And he actually today just dropped a full masterclass on funnel building in HighLevel. We're actually going to move that video into our university pretty soon. So everybody will have access to that, but it's on his YouTube channel right now. If you're interested in building funnels, building beautiful funnels, I would go check that out. And let's see what else we have coming soon. My favorite, I can't wait for this one, video testimonials. That's right. Video testimonials are huge, so powerful, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to get them. And so what is this? This is basically a widget. You're going to put it on a web page. You're going to set it at like your domain.com/testimonials or something. And whenever somebody you know had a great experience, you send them the URL, and all they do is they tap the button, and their phone will say, you know, give this permission to turn your camera on. You say, yep, and then boom, you record the video. You hit done. That video comes straight into your HighLevel account. And then do we have another screenshot, Ryan?
Yes, sir.
Boom. So you will have these videos in your library, and we will give you widgets like this where you can then display the videos automatically, dynamically, so that when people go to your site, they can browse your video testimonials and nobody had to download, upload anything. It is a beautiful experience. This one's getting super close, and I, for one, can't wait. This might be
Jason's excited, which means you should be too.
Yeah, I'm fighting a little cold right now, or I'd be even more over the top excited about this one. But this could be my most anticipated release for the rest of the year. I mean, you know, we get a lot of video testimonials ourselves, and like we have to use a third-party tool that's really annoying, and we're paying a fortune for it, by the way. So this alone, you can hear me, you can hear it coming, right? Like this alone creates a whole business opportunity. You can literally be a SaaSpreneur and go sell this one new feature and build a business around it, charging $100 a month, because I think that's what we pay for the stupid tool that we use now, which we're going to replace as soon as this thing rolls out. So, you know, I don't know what else to say.
If they don't hear that.
I'm pumped up. I really can't wait for this release. I'm glad you put that one in here because I know it's getting close.
Yeah.
But that is an exciting one. I think that's our last slide, Ryan. I gotta get prepared. It's luau night, so I'm about to get into the old highly Hawaiian and hit the party. We wish you were here, Ryan.
Miss you guys, but we'll see you on the next one, I'm sure.
We will. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and we will see you next week on the next one.